You know, sometimes the most profound wisdom doesn't come from some dusty old textbook, but from a life that was just really, truly lived. So today, we're going to take a journey through one man's life, using his own words, to see if we can uncover some lessons that are just as true now as they were then. And it all kicks off right here. This is the first line, written by an 84-year-old man, Lyle Carringer, for his grandkids. See, this isn't some official history book. It's a letter from a grandfather. And honestly, that's what makes this whole story so incredibly powerful. So, I want you to picture this. It's 1976. Lyle's sitting in his home on Point Loma, and he's looking out over a city he has watched literally grow up for over 80 years. The whole story he's about to tell us is a look back, a reflection on a life that saw an amount of change that's, well, it's almost hard for us to imagine. All right, so let's properly introduce our guide for this journey. His name is Lyle Lawrence Carringer. And look, he wasn't some famous general or a big-shot politician. Nope. He was an accountant, a husband, a father, and a grandfather who just decided to write down his memories so his family would always know where they came from. Okay, so the first thing you've got to wrap your head around to really get Lyle's life is just the sheer scale of the transformation he saw. I mean, it's massive. And the best way to see it? Just look at his hometown. I mean, this slide really says it all, doesn't it? When Lyle was born back in 1891, San Diego was basically a frontier town. We're talking fewer than 17,000 people, dirt streets. He actually remembered the nights being so quiet you could only hear the sound of horses' hooves. Now, fast forward to 1976, it's a major American city. It's got a skyline, it's got bustling traffic, all the noise of a modern metropolis. And the amazing thing is, he saw it all happen, day by day. So how in the world do you navigate that much change? I mean, really? Well, for Lyle, the answer was pretty simple. It was all rooted in dependability and a deep sense of duty. And you can see that so clearly when you look at his work life and his time in the military. It's an incredible story of commitment. No, seriously, just let this sink in for a second. 55 years at one company. He started when he was just a kid, 14 years old, as a cash boy, basically running payments around the store. And just through sheer grit and being someone people could count on, he worked his way up, all the way up, eventually retiring as an accountant in 1960. He said it himself. He learned the satisfaction of honest work and being dependable. And that sense of duty, it didn't stop at the store doors. He enlisted in the Marines during World War I. And you gotta hear this. This is one of my favorite little details. In his service record, after he qualified as a marksman, he just wrote that he was lucky, as have never handled rifle before. How great is that? It's just so humble and funny and completely human. But look, Lyle's story isn't just about work and war. That's only part of it. The real heart of his story, what his memoir is truly about, is the life he built with his own two hands, all of it fueled by the love he had for his family. And that, of course, brings us to Emily. He was very clear. Meeting her was the most important thing that ever happened to him. They got married in 1918, and for the next 58 years, she was, in his own words, my partner and my best friend. You really get this sense that their entire life was a total team effort. And together, wow, they didn't just build a house, they built a paradise. Seriously. Their home on Fern Street was famous in the neighborhood, and you can see why. 4 fish pools, an outdoor living room set up in a lath house, even heated aquariums for tropical fish. And this wasn't about being rich. It was about creating beauty and joy with their own hands, just spending their evenings together in the garden. And this right here, this is such a crucial point. For Lyle, a house was just a building. But a home was something you made. It was a place you had to fill with love and laughter and purpose. It's where you take care of things, you know? Whether it's a garden or your family. So then in 1950, they built one final home. You could really call it the culmination of their whole journey together. It was their retirement home on Point Loma. And from the terrace, Lyle could see everything. The whole sweep of San Diego, the skyline, the harbor, even North Island, where he trained as a Marine. It was like his entire life was laid out right there in that one single view. So as he's sitting there, looking out at that incredible view, Lyle basically boiled down his 84 years of experience into a few simple but really powerful truths for his grandkids. This is the stuff he really wanted them to know. All right, lesson number 1, work matters. And not just for the paycheck, It's about what it builds inside you. He was a big believer that doing a job with all your heart, well, that's how you contribute something valuable, and it's how you build your own character. Lesson 2, and you can tell this was the big one for him, family is everything. He literally wrote that the time you spend with the people you love is more precious than any treasure. It was the absolute anchor of his entire life, no question. Number 3, serve something bigger than yourself. It didn't matter if it was his country, his company, or just his community. He was convinced that service is what gives your life a deeper meaning, something beyond just your own day-to-day wants and needs. And finally, lesson 4, find joy in the simple things. When he wrote about his happiest memories, they weren't these big, grand events. They were the small, quiet moments. His wife humming in the kitchen, his daughter laughing in the garden, just watching the sunset over the bay. He made it really clear, a rich life has nothing to do with fame or fortune. And really, he wrapped it all up with this one beautiful thought. He said that a good life isn't measured by how much you accumulate. It's measured by how much love you give and receive. It's about the responsibilities you meet, the beauty you create. It's about leaving the world just a little bit better than you found it. So in the end, this simple story, written from a grandfather to his family, it leaves us with one really essential question we all have to ask ourselves, right? What truly makes a good life?